Hello my beautiful creative friends, I'm Katia with Lunar Sun Creations, and today we are going to be creating a gratitude journal. At the beginning of 2024, I was so excited and super pumped and just like on a high because I had just quit my job, taken a leap of faith, and decided to become a full-time artist. And it's amazing, and I'm so happy that I did it. However, within a few months, I realized how incredibly hard this journey was going to be. I guess, I don't know, somehow I thought that it would be much easier than it actually has been so far. And within a few months, I started to have a lot of fears and a lot of doubts and kind of started to wallow in negativity a little bit. I was also going through menopause at the time. Well, I'm still going through menopause, but that added to the whole thing. But regardless of that part of it, yeah, I started to really doubt myself and wondered if I'd made the right decision, and I needed to get myself out of this funk that I'd found myself in. So I started a daily meditation every morning, and I started to write in a gratitude journal. And that has really helped change my mindset and shift my ways of thinking about things. And I mean, it's still a bit of a struggle being a full-time artist. I haven't got to where I want to be yet, but I know that I'm going to get there. And I have absolute faith that I can do it. So gratitude journaling has really helped me with that. So today we are going to be using my own boho inspired gratitude journal papers that I have in my Etsy shop right now. We are going to create a junk journal step by step. And then in my next video, I'm going to talk more about the hows and the whys of gratitude journaling. Okay, so stay tuned. Let's make a gratitude journal. Okay, so I'm just going to do a really quick run through of the journal. I'll just flip through the pages really quickly so you can see them. So it's just a simple journal. Gratitude journals do not have to be overly complicated. I just wanted some imagery that felt inspiring. I mean, it feels inspiring, at least to me. It's just soft and it's beautiful and encouraging. And there's some, quotes and some little journal prompts throughout the pages. And there's just a lot of room for journaling throughout the year. And I mean, if you end up, filling it up before the end of the year, then just create another one. I will have more collections throughout the year that I'll be putting out in my Etsy shop. So this just can be the first quarter, perhaps. All right, so let's get the materials ready and then let's make it. Okay, so let's go over the supplies that we'll need and then we'll start creating. Not a ton of supplies needed for this project. For adhesives, I'll be using score tape. For adding some extra patterned paper, I will be using my ATG gun, but this is not strictly necessary. It's just, I find it easier. I will be using some wet adhesive, just simple white glue in a few spots, but again, if you don't have that, you can do it all with score tape. We'll need a few sheets of just simple printer paper, however many you'd like to add extra into the signatures just for extra space. I believe I've got 4 pieces per signature and I'm doing 3 signatures, so about 12 sheets. And then you'll also need 3 or 4 sheets of 65-pound white cardstock. You can use 80-pound if that's what you have, just a slightly heavier paper. For the cover, we'll need a piece of chipboard. This is like a medium weight chipboard. That's the sound it makes, if that helps. It's about, I don't know, 2-3 millimeters thick, so like a medium weight chipboard. I will be using a little bit of Tyvek with the binding and the cover. Again, This isn't strictly necessary. I just like to reinforce everything. So if you don't have Tyvek, that is also not an essential. Okay, and then we will need a paper trimmer, a stapler, because we're going to be stapling the signatures together and doing some more with them so the staples stay in. But you can use thread and bind them that way. There are many tutorials out there showing how to bind junk journals with thread, but I just wanted this one to be really simple to do. So stapler, and then a scoreboard with a bone folder and a scoring tool. Okay, and then of course you'll need whatever pattern paper you're using. I am going to be using my own paper collection. So this is the one that I've created. It is going to be available in my Etsy shop. I'll put the link down below. It's just beautiful florals, really soft, kind of boho feel. Very wildflower inspired. I just wanted it to be calming and soft. This is very much my aesthetic. Gratitude journaling prompts, like who are the people in my life that lift me up. Gratitude changes everything. Some full-size sheets. What is a life lesson I've learned that has made me proud of myself? And this isn't all of them. There's quite a few more sheets. I just wanted to show you a few of them. So again, that will be in my Etsy shop, link in the description box. Okay, let us get going. All right, so start by taking each one of your journaling pages and just folding them in half, and then use your bone folder to crease them. So they are 8.5 by 11, so the project that we're making today is perfect for them. There's no trimming necessary. Just fold each one of them in half and use your bone folder. I've actually folded all of mine already just to make everything just go a little bit quicker. So these are actually already folded and creased, but you don't even need a scoreboard. You just take it, match up the edges, fold it in half. Okay, so I'm gonna get all of those recreased, and then also fold 12 sheets of regular printer paper. Okay, so get that done, and then we are going to put these into 3 signatures. I'm just going to kind of alternate going with a piece of the pattern paper and a sheet of regular paper, and then another sheet of the pattern journaling paper and a sheet of regular. So just keep going until you've got 9 sheets all together folded in half. They can go in any order that you desire. It is your gratitude journal, so whatever makes you happy. Just make 3 signatures with 9 pieces of paper each, and I'll be right back when I've got that done. One thing I forgot to mention is when you're putting your pages together, just make sure that there is a blank sheet on the outside, okay? So when it's folded over, make sure that it's a blank sheet on the outside. So I've got a set of 9 pages here. So some of them are the pattern paper and some of them are the regular paper. And I'm going to staple them. However, my stapler is just a little mini guy and doesn't reach all the way to the center of my pages. So I'm going to keep them clipped. And I've got 2 pieces of ceramic here just so that there is a space underneath my stapler so the staple can go all the way through the pages and have the tines pushing out the other side. So I'm going to staple once at near the top, about 1 inch down, and then once in the center. That's roughly center, it doesn't have to be perfect. Pushing that all the way through, and then once down near the bottom. Okay. All right, so the staples are through, but the tines, I don't know if you can see that, they're not closed on the other side, so I'll just have to manually close these tines, just pushing them over with my fingers. And then I'm going to kind of push them down even further with my bone folder. Okay, so the pages are together, and do the same with your other two signatures of pages. Just gonna move these out of the way. Okay, so once you have all three of your signatures all together and stapled with both the regular and, oh, that one's upside down, regular and patterned paper in there. Okay. So I've got three of them. Now I'm going to cut 3 pieces of white cardstock that are 1 1/8 by 8.5 inches. I'm going to grab my scoreboard and I'm going to score them at 1/2 and 5/8. So you just want 1/8 of an inch gusset in there, okay? So do that to all 3 of them. Okay, put your scoreboard away for a moment. Now we're going to fold each of those score lines so that you have a little thing with a bit of a space in there, okay? And then we're going to put score tape all over the inside of this. And remove the score tape backing. I'm going to miter the corners just a little bit, just so that it's a slightly neater look. So I'm just cutting a tiny bit off at an angle from each end. Okay, and then this is going to go on the outside of each of our signatures, covering over those staples. So just so the staples will not come out and so that they'll be hidden from view. Okay, so now those staples are locked in there and hidden. We're going to do something else on the inside to hide those ones later on, but for now that's what we're going to do for each of the signatures. So do that process 3 times. We'll put the score tape on first. So score tape. Miter the corners just a little bit. So don't cut into the actual little gusset, that little space between the score lines. Just cut a tiny bit off at an angle on either side of that gusset. We're going to fold these creases. You should probably use your bone folder, but it's not that big of a deal as long as they're folded. And then we're going to remove the score tape and put it onto the back side of our next signature, and then do that process one more time. So each one of them is all covered up. Okay, just like that. And then I'm going to do that one more time, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so this is what we've got so far. We've got our 3 signatures with the staples covered up. And now we are going to cut 2 pieces of cardstock that measure 8.5 inches by 2 1/4 across. We're going to take our scoreboard and we are going to score them at 1 and 1 1/4. So 1 and 1 1/4. Okay, and then we're also going to cut 2 pieces of cardstock that are 8.5 inches by 4. And these ones we're going to cut at score at 1, 1 1/4, 1 1/2, and 1 3/4. Okay, and then do that to the other one. So 1, 1 1/4, 1 1/2, 1 3/4. Okay, so it's gonna have those score lines. All right, put your scoreboard away. Okay, now we're going to crease all of those score lines, and then we'll add them to our pages. So, why is it so beneficial? Well, it's been proven that if you truly feel gratitude every day and you write it down, it can actually help to train your brain to release negative thought patterns, negative mindsets, negative emotions. The more that we feel gratitude, the more our brain wants to kind of go in that direction, and it kind of retrains it to let go of the negativity and just be more positive. They say that where thoughts flow, energy goes. So, I mean, if you're thinking negative thoughts from the moment you wake up, you're putting that out there into the universe, and just more negativity is going to happen because of that. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. But if you're waking up and thinking positive thoughts, then because you're in such a positive mindset, things just seem to go better in the day. Okay, we are now going to add score tape to these. So these are going to go in between our pages, sticking them together. So we're going to put the score tape on the outside of each of these. Do not put it on the actual spine part, this gusset here. We're just going to put score tape here and here. So if you've listened to me for a while, been watching me for a while, I used to say, find your rainbow. I used to say it a lot. And by that, I would mean no matter what the situation, even if you're having a really bad situation, there's something good in every situation. So, you know, even if it's something bad, like a breakup or something, maybe that means that, you know, there's another door opening for you and someone better is out there for you. Or you're just meant to spend a little bit of time alone, you know, falling more in love with yourself. Like finding the rainbow is trying to find like a silver lining in any situation, even if the situation seems bad. We're going to miter just a little bit off these corners. I'm just doing them together because they're the same. So it's not, I mean, I think some people think that gratitude journaling is just kind of woo-woo and that, you know, it doesn't work, but it truly does. It truly does. All right, we're gonna put, I keep going back and forth, but I'm trying to explain things while also explaining the whys of why I'm making this gratitude journal in the first place. So we're going to be putting this against the edge of one of our pages. Okay, so here it is. And then we're going to adhere the next signature to it. So this is attaching the pages together. Okay, so make sure you go right to the edge of this, line up your pages, your signatures. I am going to be doing another follow-up video to this, going more into depth about the whys and the hows of gratitude journaling, but I wanted to get this one out there first so you had a gratitude journal to work with and you could start right away. One of the things that I did really kind of struggle with when I started gratitude journaling was if I missed a few days, I would really beat myself up about it. And I mean, it's a practice like everything else, you know, yoga practice, meditation practice. It's all something that you're going to have to practice at before it becomes routine. You know, I've started meditating this year as well. And between the gratitude journaling and the meditating, it has really helped my mindset in a big way, because I was having a lot of negative thoughts this past year, a lot of self-doubt, a lot of fear, and it has really, really helped me to overcome that and to believe in myself. Okay, so now we are going to attach these larger ones. The 1 inch part of it is going to attach to the front, and the other one will attach to the back in the same way. So I'm just going to add score tape again. I'm going to actually add 2 strips here. So don't put score tape into those little gusset lines, the 1/4 inch lines. We just want it on that 1 inch. And I guess while we have the score tape out, we might as well put it over here as well. So because this part is going to adhere to the cover, which is what we're going to do right after we attach these. Yeah, I think I was a little bit intimidated by gratitude journaling in a way, in the sense that I'm like, how can I find 3 things every day that I'm grateful for, when I was so in my head and so having way too many negative thoughts and questioning my choice of becoming a full-time artist. And yeah, just questioning a lot of the decisions that I'd made and wondering if I'd made the right ones and getting way too in my head about it. And I realized that it doesn't have to be big things every day that you're talking about. It could be as simple as, like, you know, I'm grateful for this cup of coffee that I'm having right now. I'm grateful that I have forest around me that I can go for a walk in. I'm grateful for my cats. Actually, I'm they're in my journal a lot. I'm grateful for my cats a lot. And for my hubby. But yeah, there's so many things to be grateful for. It doesn't have to be a big thing, like I'm going on a trip or I got a promotion. It can be something so simple. I'm grateful for a comfy couch. You know, it can be anything. Anything that brings you joy. Anything that, you know, makes your life a little bit nicer. Okay, so I'm just going to attach this to the very front. Okay, so the edge of my page is lined up with that first score line. Okay, so the rest of these are kind of overhanging. All right, and we're going to do the same to the back here. So it's all about just starting. And you don't have to make a fancy journal to do this. You could just use a plain lined notebook from the dollar store. I just find that if something is really pretty, I'm much more apt to work on it and use it, just because the artist in me just wants everything to be colorful and pretty. But if you don't want to, you know, do that much, then just writing in a simple notebook is just as good. It's the act of doing it that is the important part. All right, so we're gonna set this aside for a moment and we're gonna work on our cover now. You will need to cut 3 pieces of chipboard. So the front and back covers will be 6 1/8 by 9, and the spine is 1 3/8 by 9. Okay, so get those pieces cut. Then you will need 2 pieces of 65-pound cardstock. I'm going to run 2 strips of score tape along the long side of one of the pieces and adhere them together, overlapping just a little bit, just to make one long sheet, and then we will wrap our chipboard in this. Okay, so 2 pieces of score tape. Remove the tape backing. And adhere them together, just like that. Okay, and now put some tape, score tape on the backs of your chipboard pieces. For this one I used a nice big 6-inch roll. If you don't have that, just use, you know, whatever score tape you have. So place one of your pieces here, and then we're going to put the spine, leaving a little space in between. Now it's not absolutely necessary, but if you would like to, you can put a piece of Tyvek here underneath the spine piece, just so the creases in between the spine and these pages have a little bit of extra, but again, that is completely optional. I am going to do it just because I love the extra strength of everything, but this is definitely an optional step. Okay, so I'm putting my spine piece down, but I'm leaving a little bit of space between the 2 pieces of chipboard so they have room to be able to fold. And then here's my other cover. Again, leaving a space. Make sure they're lined up. Okay, now we're going to put score tape all the way around the whole perimeter of this. So if you are interested in learning a little bit more about gratitude journaling, I will be doing another video talking about it. And I'm not claiming to be any kind of expert. I'm just going to speak from my experience and what I have learned so far. But it is amazing how much science there actually is to back up how beneficial it is. It's quite amazing. All right, so now we're going to cut our corners. So we're going to cut at an angle. So cutting in at an angle until we hit the corner, and then we're going to kind of angle our scissors and cut out at an angle. It doesn't have to be a really sharp angle. This is just so the paper can fold around the corner. Okay, get those out of the way, and now we are going to fold these just to kind of, this is, I almost feel like it's like training the paper, so this way it kind of knows which direction you want it to go, and it's easier to fold when you're doing it. I am just going to put 1 piece of cardstock, just the 65-pound cardstock, to cover over these seams. Okay, so I'm just going to place that there. It will be covered up by this, but just so you don't see any of this. So I'm just going to use my ATG gun for that. Okay, and now we're going to remove the score tape here, the score tape backing, I should say, and fold these over. Okay, and now grab a ruler and we're just going to kind of put it in the crease as we bend these up. Okay, so there is your cover. Now we're going to add our pages into our cover. So I'm going to add just a little tiny bit of Tyvek over these extra score lines that we did. Again, this is not absolutely necessary, but I'm just a lover of Tyvek, and I know it can be hard to find and it is quite expensive, so this isn't a necessary step. But I do find that it does help with the longevity of my projects. Okay, so now we're going to remove the tape backing. Okay, make sure your journal is the right side up. Okay, and now we're going to adhere this so that this farthest score lines, you've got the 1 inch and then you've got your 4 score lines here. So the farthest one is going to go right at the crease in your cover. Okay, make sure it's centered up and down. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, and again, this last score line is going to go right at the edge of our spine here. Okay, and that is the basis of our gratitude journal. Now we just need to add some of the pattern paper to here, and like wherever there's a piece of cardstock like that, we'll cover it up with another piece of the patterned paper. All right, so I'm going to kind of work on that. So that's part of why I have some of these here, so that these can go on those parts. So I think I really like this paper, so I think I'm going to use this for the front, just with a little bit of a backing of purple or something. Yeah, I'm going to use it for the back and the front. I'm just going to cut it in half and then put it on a backing of another color, like mat it with another color. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I've just matted this piece onto some purple cardstock. So I'm going to put that on the front. This piece is a little bit brighter than the rest of the collection. I just wanted the cover to be something that, you know, kept grabbing my attention, you know, so I wanted it to be just a little bit brighter. So that's why that is so. So I feel like, you know, if it's something that grabs my attention each day and when I see it, then I'm definitely more apt to write in it. All right, so I've got the same on the back side. And then on the inside, on this side, I'm just gonna put plain white cardstock because I plan on putting one of the pockets on here, but I want the pocket going the other way, and I somehow the printer that I go to missed that page because I have pockets that go each direction, and so for some reason I don't have the other pocket. So I'm just gonna wait until I get that and put that there. I'm gonna cut out a few of the words as well and put them in different places in the journal. So for now, we'll put this piece of white cardstock. Okay, on this side, I'm just going to put some of the pattern paper. I've just cut down one of the larger pieces. Okay, so now anywhere that you find that you can see the staples, a couple things you can do. You can add different washi tapes over that seam, or you could, where is one of the pages that I did it? Like most of the pages you won't be able to see it at all. There's just a couple pages what they'll be able to see it. So here I've added just a tiny bit of one of the pieces of pattern paper. So just a strip of paper there. All right, so there's not many places that you would need it. Here I've added another little strip of washi tape. So wherever you feel that you would like to add some pattern paper or washi tape in between the pages, go ahead and do that. But for the most part, you can't, there's only a couple places where you can see the staples, and I don't really mind them actually that much. All right, so that is our journals. There's lots of areas to write and decorate, and like I said, in the next video, I will be using this journal and showing you a few different ways that you can get started with gratitude journaling, and talk a little bit more about how it has helped me in my story as I've started doing the gratitude journaling over the past year. So if you would like to hear about that or are interested in that, then stay tuned for the next video. You can even push the bell icon and then you'll be notified when it goes up. I'm very, very grateful for you, and thank you so much for watching this video and supporting my art. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you would like to follow more art tutorials of different kinds. And I hope you're having a beautiful day, and Happy New Year. All right, sending much love, big hugs. Find that rainbow. Bye.